about nearly 80,000, I think, worldwide recipes. So lots of inspiration that you can get from there. Okay, now, so that's just what you see on your TM6 screen. All right. From there, you can search lots of different recipes from your screen or different devices. So your iPad, your computer, and your TM6 screen as well. So tonight, what it is about is Cookidoo 3.0. So that's new. It's been out now for a couple of months. But what that means is that you can actually import and create your very own recipes, and you'll be able to see it from your TM6 screen. So I know a couple of you had TM5s, and there was someone also with a 31. So obviously the 31 doesn't have a screen at all. The TM5, you won't be able to get it onto your screen, so it's not going to be like a guided cooking like on when you've got your Cookidoo attached. Okay, you will have to use it from your devices and then look at it. So a little bit annoying, but yes, when you decide to upgrade, amazing. So what I'm going to do is, so up here you've got my recipes. Okay, so when we click on that, it will then over here say created recipes. So this is where all your creations are going to be. So when I click on there, you'll be able to see things that I've already put in. Okay, so you can either, like, are people using, especially those that have had a TM5, do you use and find a lot of recipes from Recipe Community? That is the platform we used to use prior to Cookidoo. So Recipe Community has lots of recipes on there, and it's just basically like you or I, you know, put in our favorite recipe on there and people give it a bit of a star rating. And then you can cook along manually with it. All right. I'll just bring you over to Recipe Community. So you can search in anything you wanted at all. All right. And you used to just have to do it manually and, you know, look at your phone or a printout or whatever it is. Now you can simply just pop it straight into your TM6. Okay. So the way we do that, does anyone have a favorite Recipe Community recipe that they're always cooking? Pop it in the chat box if you have a favorite Recipe Community recipe, and I'll have a search for it. Okay, we've got some coming up now. Gingerbread, hot cross buns. Yum, so many hot cross buns happening at the moment. Actually, I did hear lots of people, grandma's shortbread. All right, we've got all different ones there. I'm going to have a look at the grandma's shortbread. I do remember, I think I've done this one before. It might even be in my Cookidoo. So I'm just typing it in. Get rid of that. Oh, now my, okay. So grandma's shortbread. So I'm going to click in there. So easy. So you'll see the little button here now. It says add to Cookidoo. So all I need to do is click on that and it's going to go straight over. So do I want to add this? Yes, I do. So that's just going to go straight over into my Cookidoo now. Okay, it's got the image there, so you can change that image if you've made your own and you think that yours looks better. You can change it to your own name as well if you wanted to. Okay, then down here, it's giving you your preparation. Well, it hasn't got it added in there, but the total time and the serving size. You've got the ingredients have been all brought over for you and the preparation steps. And then if you wanted to add any hints and tips, you can pop that in also. So if you wanted to change it at all, so if there's something that you wanted to tweak a little bit, you could just pop it on here to ingredients, okay? And you can add whatever it is you wanted to add. Now I'm just going to take you over to, spotlight that, to, can you see my black Thermomix screen now? Yep. So I'm just going to take you over there just so you can see what it looks like to start with before I've changed anything around. Okay, I'll just turn that back on. All right, hopefully you can hear me and see me okay. Sarah, can you just answer me because I can't see anyone on the screen to know that it's working?
Yeah, all good.
All right. So here again, so we're going into my recipes, created recipes, while it just connects up. Just got a child that's burnt herself on the oven. Go and get Dad. All right, so I've got my grandma's shortbread there. So it does look a little bit different as opposed to your actual guided cooking recipe. So got it imported by Tracy Sever. It's got my ingredients, preparation steps there, okay? And then I would just click on start cooking. So here you'll see everything sort of looks quite crammed. So it's saying preheat oven to 160 degrees, place sugar into a mixing bowl, milk for 10 seconds, speed 9, add corn flour. So it's all kind of muddled up a bit. If I click on it, okay, it's going to bring up my ingredient list all at the one time. And then if I click on the blades, there's nothing actually set there yet. Okay, so I would have to go back and write mill for 10 seconds on speed 9. So I'd have to manually do that. So I would have to be like 10 seconds on speed 9, okay, and do it automatically, right? So what I'm going to show you is going to help with that. So it just doesn't look quite as jumbled. Okay, so we're going to do a bit of editing, but I just wanted to show you how it looks. So what we normally say is that if it's a recipe you haven't yet tried, you can definitely just leave it like that, because it does take a little bit of time to go through everything. So if it's a recipe that you're not 100% sure that you're going to cook again, you don't want to spend a lot of time editing it. Okay, so, but if you decide, yep, love it, I think I'm going to definitely do this recipe again, then it's worthwhile. Okay, so to edit it, we're just going to go to here with your little pencil. Okay, and then we're just going to work out which steps we need to separate. So preheat oven to 160 degrees. I'm just going to bring my cursor past there because that's obviously one step, and then I'm just going to hit enter. And then it breaks it down into step 2. Okay, so then I'm going to place sugar into the mixing bowl, mill for 10 seconds on speed 9. That's my next step. So enter again, and it's just put it into steps. Add corn flour, plain flour and butter, mix for 10 seconds on speed 6. Mixture should appear crumbly. Tip, this crumble mixture is great as topping on fruit crumble. So I've sort of taken those into their own steps. Knead for 35 seconds. Mixture should come together. So I reckon that's pretty good now. So the next step we want to do is we want to make it so it's giving us our guided step. Okay, so I don't have to go back in and see what speed I need it on and for how long. Okay, so we're just going to click on here and you'll see this blade sign will come up. So that's where I'm going to put my time. So I want 10 seconds. Okay, no temperature. And then I'm going to click on speed. I'm going to click speed 9. Yes. Now I want to add so that my ingredients go in the right stages instead of it all being up at the same time. So I'm going to click on the little scale symbol. And then I'm going to say, so I need my sugar first. So I'm just going to click on the sugar. Oop, that going? Click the sugar. And now you'll see it's sort of highlighted there. I've got it in twice. So I'm going to click on that. Now I don't need it to tell me how many grams because it's going to tell me that automatically anyway. So we're just going to wipe that bit out. So it just says sugar, just makes it look a little bit cleaner. Okay. And I also 100 grams of white sugar. So I'm just going to get rid of all that bit. So it's just going to say place sugar into the mixing bowls. Now, if you're, have children using it, you can simplify them even more. Okay, so you can add however you would normally speak to them, like their language that they're going to be able to read and understand. You can type that in as well. And then we're going to mill it for 10 seconds, which I don't need to say because that's already coming up here. Okay, so yep, that step is good. Now I'm going to add the corn flour. So I'm going to pop my ingredients in. Okay, corn flour, and then I just need to edit. So as you can see, it does take a bit of time. So that's why I was saying, unless it's a recipe that you're going to do all the time, then I wouldn't be adding all of this all the time. Okay, so I'm going to take that down to plain flour, remove that, and then pop the butter in. Butter. Click on it again so I can just say butter. I don't need to say the grams, and cold because that will already go in there for me. Click yes and remove. Okay, so I've popped all that in, and then of course I want to get my guided step up for how long it's going for. So I'm just going to put in there 10 seconds on speed 6. Yes. Now, the only thing is currently you can't add modes to it. So here it's got need for 35 to 45 seconds. I'm not actually going to be able to create that. That is something that is coming, but right now you would have to go out of the recipe, swipe across to your modes and click on your need button. Okay, so I'm going to have to leave that in there. That's a bit of a mistake there. Okay, and then the rest of it is pretty simple because there's no, we're not adding any ingredients or anything in there. So that is pretty much it for that one. And then I'm going to do confirm. Okay, done. Now I'm just going to show you what it now looks like once I've changed it. Okay, so you'll notice that it's a little bit neater as opposed to before, and a bit easier to read. So if I go back home, my recipes, created recipe, grandma's shortbread, start cooking, and now it's just telling me step by step. So preheat the oven, okay, place sugar, I've got that the wrong way around, place sugar into the mixing bowl, 10 seconds, speed 9. So now if I just tap on the line there, we've now got our guided cooking there. So it's got my 10 seconds in, and then it says turn speed selector to speed 9. And then I'll just click out of that, go across, and there's my next step. So add my corn flour, and now here it's got the ingredients that I'm going to be putting in for this step. So I can just add all those in, click off it, and then click on my highlighted bit there, or you can just click on the blades down the bottom as well, and that's got it set for me. So as you can see, it's just a lot clearer, lot cleaner to sort of read. Okay, so that's our first way of creating a recipe. So that one's coming straight from the recipe community, and we're just bringing it over. The next thing that we can do is go to Cookidoo. Now, does anyone have like a recipe that you love from Cookidoo, but you actually change it up a lot? I know the first thing I'm going to import. Yes, bakers. I was waiting for people before to say the cheese and bacon rolls. Baker's Delight cheese and bacon rolls are amazing. I think they're in my thing now. But I actually do, now that we're talking about rolls and scrolls, I actually love my kids love the cheese and Vegemite scrolls. Okay, so the recipe I would usually use is actually the 3 cheese and spinach scrolls. Go back here. So I'm just going to get rid of that chat box first of all. So I've got my 3 cheese and spinach scrolls. Okay, now you used to have to do it via the URL. So if you've had your Cookidoo 3.0 for a while, there's an easier way to pop this into your created recipes. So I'm just going to say add, click on add, and then it says add to created recipes. So I'm going to click on that. And again, it's just going to take me straight over into my created recipes. So there it is there. Okay. From there, I can change the image. I haven't got the images on my computer, so I'll do it from my phone later on. Like I said, because you can have as many devices as you want connected to your Cookidoo. Okay. So along here, I can change it. So if you normally make your scrolls a little bit smaller, I think we normally get at least 14, maybe 16. So I could then say, 16 portions is what I make, because I make them a little bit smaller. Now, I don't actually do the cheese and spinach. I make them cheese and Vegemite. Okay. So I can go over to my ingredients list, and I'm actually just going to say 200 grams of cheddar is what we use. So whatever cheese you want, you can turn that into it. I'm going to leave the cut into the pieces. You never want to put huge blocks of cheese in there, and you don't want to go more than, I think it's 400 grams or 300 grams, because it's going to be too much pressure on your blades. Okay, so many people have their blades snap because of the pressure on it. Can you edit these recipes on your phone? I'll have to check. I'm pretty sure you can do it on your phone now. I just find it a lot easier on the computer. But I'll get back to you on that because my phone is currently over there. So spinach, I'm not doing, so I'm going to delete that. Okay, I've got my water, yeast, olive oil, salt, and baker's flour, and then I'm going to add Vegemite. Now, I'm not sure how much I normally do, because I kind of just scrape a whole heap out and use it as I need to. So you can also put it into the microwave for a little bit, just to soften it up so that it's easier to spread. So I've changed those. So now I'm going to have to change my preparation steps. So just on our little pencil icon. So lining the baking tray with baking paper is still going to be the same. Just going to edit that because I'm just going to say cheese. So I don't have a cheese mix. You can still have a cheese mixture if you wish to have different cheeses there. That is fine. Click yes. Okay, we've got our scales there. I'm going to add my cheese. Okay, into the mixing bowl, great for 5 seconds, speed 8. So I still do, even though I've transferred it, I'm still going to have to put in the time and the speed. Now, just while I'm at it, if you do need to put it into reverse at all, just scroll down. I don't know if you can see it there because of my thing, and you've got your reverse there. So if there is a recipe that you're creating and you want to use reverse, just click on there so that you've got your reverse on. Okay. So I've done all that. Click yes. Now I've deleted the spinach, so I'm taking that out. Just taking that whole step out actually. And now we're placing our water, oil and salt, and then we're going to heat it. Okay, 2 minutes, 37 degrees, speed 1. So that one went in automatically. I'm going to add our flour and combine. Now with this one, okay, with the dough function, because it's from Cookidoo, that is actually going to work, okay? The one we're bringing over from Recipe Community is still not working, but if you're recreating a Cookidoo one, it will, okay? Just looking at the chat, you can edit on your phone, could be me. All right, I'll have a look at that afterwards. Thanks guys for answering. So I'm going to click that, got our flour, combine. Now, when I get to, so all that is going to stay the same. Of course, like I said before, if you don't want it to look too messy on the screen, you can definitely remove some of that. So if you think that you don't really need to know, because it's just you that's looking at it. So if you don't need to know, wrap the silicone in the bread mat, blah, 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 let prove, you can delete all that. Okay, you just make it as simple as you want it, or as not complicated, but as more instructions if you feel that that's what you need. All right, so knock down the dough, roll out to a large rectangle. So I love to use, who has like a bread mat? This is when you need bread mats, okay? I'll just grab one. They are amazing for so many things. So this is the bread mat. So basically, when I'm doing scrolls, okay, I make my dough the size of this bread mat. Okay, size and shape of the bread mat. All right, so knock it down, and then instead of sprinkle with spinach mixture, I'm going to say sprinkle with cheese. Okay, and then I'm going to add the Vegemite. Okay, so sprinkle with cheese. Actually, I'm doing cheese last. So I want the spread Vegemite. So I'm just going to click on my scales and then add my Vegemite there. So spread Vegemite. So again, depending on, do you like a lot of Vegemite? Do you like a little bit of Vegemite? And sometimes it can look like a huge amount, but once it's cooked, it's really not too bad. So my kids love a lot of Vegemite. So spread Vegemite and then sprinkle the dough with the reserved cheese and roll up. Okay. Now it's saying along the longer edge into a Swiss roll. So I actually am going to change that because I like to cut it first. So I'm going to cut it in the thickness that I want all the way along. Okay. And then I roll individually. So sprinkle with reserved cheese and then slice vertically. And then roll each slice. And if you want smaller ones, you can actually cut them in half again, okay? I just find they're neater. So if you have a look on my Instagram, you'll be able to see how I like to do it. I used to think it wasn't easier, and then friend of mine, Chelsea, that's how she did it, and I actually find it so much easier now. I know there's a couple of Chelsea girls on here as well, and yeah, it just makes it so much easier and neater. So then you're going to place into a cold oven. Now, does it say that here? Individual scrolls and place cut upside down. Yeah. So I like to have them quite close, and then they sort of join together and keep themselves together while they cook in the oven. Okay. Place in a cold oven, bake for 25 minutes. So I'm just going to add that step in, 20 minutes. This time I do need the temperature. Oh, this is for the oven. Jeez, it's a bit late today. Serve warm or allow to cool completely and transfer into a sealable container. So then hit confirm. Okay, I'll change that picture when I get around to it and then do done. Okay, now These are great for kids' lunches or even your own lunches as well. If Eliza's still on there, she loves a scroll. And you just simply take one from the freezer in the morning, pop it in their lunchbox, and it's good to go by lunchtime. Okay, they haven't complained yet, so it's perfect. I didn't even think about the scrolls when I did them. So our last one, so we've done one from Recipe Community, we've changed one from Cookidoo, and now we're going to create our own recipe. So does anyone have something that they love to make just on their own? So I know we do, I'm just trying to think what I'm doing here. All right, so add. Down here, you've got the little plus button. Okay, so I'm not importing a recipe. That's how you used to do it prior to them having the little button that now says add to Cookidoo. You would have to get the URL and then use the import button, which we don't need that anymore. So now that you're creating your own, you're just going to click on create recipe, give it a title. So I'm trying to think what I haven't got in there. Possibly a cappuccino. I know everyone's always asking for the recipe for that I like to make, so I will add a photo there, but like I said, they're all on my phone. Total time is around 2 to 3 minutes, so I'm just going to say 3 minutes. And serves 1. Yep. All right. So from here, you'll see there's nothing in here. So I'm starting from scratch. So I'm going to click on add ingredients. So we need 100 grams of water, around 200 to 250, depending on how big your cup size is. Okay, so 200 to 250 grams of water. Oh, sorry, of milk of choice. So I usually have almond milk. Sometimes I do have like skinny milk. Then we're going with 1 to 2 teaspoons, or however strong you like your coffee, of instant coffee. And then sugar to taste, or sugar optional even. And click on there. So I've got all my ingredients, and then I'm going over to the preparation. So add my first step. So the first step would be add, then I'm going to say ingredients. So my water, again, I'm going to click on that and just get rid of the 100. So it just says water. Put a little comma there. Click on them again, and then do my milk. Okay. Milk. Yes, comma. And then my coffee. Click on there and just get rid of that so it looks neater. And then sugar optional. So I'll pop that in. All right. And then I am going to, I normally like to use, I would normally just use the kettle mode, and then I don't have to think about how long it's going to take to heat it up. But because of in your creative recipes currently, when you make it yourself, you can't add those modes. All right, so I will change it when that becomes available. But for now, I will just say around 4 minutes. Okay, so because you have to guess, which is a bit annoying. So I'm going to do 4 minutes. Temperature, I like mine hot. So I'm going to do 75 degrees, even though a lot of times they say, you know, you shouldn't do it more than 65, but I like mine to be quite hot. And then speed 3 or 2.5. Okay, yes, I'm just going to get rid of that. All right, so that one is done. So that's just going to stir everything together for us. And then we want to make the froth part the best part. The kids always want to steal it. So I don't need to add anything. I'm just going to put my blades up, okay? And for 30 seconds, 30 to 40, I usually do, I think. Okay, no temperature, so we've got the temperature off, and then I'm going up to speed 8. Okay, so that is going to give us the beautiful frothiness. Note to self, put your description in first. So I'm then going to make the froth. So 30 seconds, speed 8. All right, so then it's coming up there now. Okay, click. And then you can say pour into your mug. Sprinkle with chocolate and enjoy. Enter, confirm. So then we have just created our own. Now, if you have trouble trying to convert something like this, was quite a simple one. If you have trouble with a recipe and you're trying to work out, you know, the steps that you need to do, how long you need to do it for, in the front of your basic cookbook, if you haven't already looked at it, it's going to give you hints and tips and ideas of what sort of speed that you need to use to like chop or blend, and the time it takes. Okay, so if you need help with that, your consultant as well would be more than happy to help you out there. I'm more than happy to help you to convert a non-Thermomix recipe into a Thermomix recipe. Okay, now the beauty of these now as well is that, oops, I haven't changed my, edited the recipe, cheese and Vegemite, is that you can actually now add them to your weekly plan. Vegemite, scroll. So your meal plan. You never used to be able to do, which was a bit annoying because, you know, when you were doing your weekly plan, you had to sort of have 2 so that you could go, oh, I'm also making this one, because it's not on Cookidoo, you couldn't have it there. So now you can actually add them. So I could say, I'm going to add it to my week and I'm going to make these on Thursday. Okay. I also want to add it to my shopping list. And then when we come up here, so for those of you who aren't familiar with Cookidoo, I would then come up here to my week. So you'll be able to see this my week on your Thermomix as well. Okay. So if you're lucky enough to have other people in the house cook, you could meal plan for the week and they could just simply come in, turn the machine on, and they're going to know what they need to start cooking for you. Okay. If you want to take it one step further, you can actually make up boxes. So once a week, I would, you know, create a box. So say for the lasagna. So I'd put all the ingredients for the lasagna into that box. So sort of like if you think of, what's it called? HelloFresh. You know, all the ingredients are together and then you can just start cooking straight away. Okay. Now from there, so I've got all my meal plans. I'm going away tomorrow, so I'm just making some fried rice. And so I've got everything in. Okay. I've added these to my shopping list, and then you'll see over here, it brings up my shopping list. Okay. When I say show ingredients, going to come up and it's categorized all of that for me. Okay. And then I simply just click the things that I know that I've already got at home. I've got my salt, I've got yeast, olive oil, I've got some cheese, I've got baker's flour, and I've got Vegemite. If you just wanted something for, say for dinner for that night, you could just go on by recipe and it will bring it up for the recipe. So then you can see what it is you need for that. Okay. From there, you can actually order your own ingredients. So currently it's still just with Woolies, and it will take all of those ingredients for your weekly plan, fortnightly, whatever it is you're wanting to do, and it's going to bring them all over to here. Now, if you didn't want to have the Woolies brand icing sugar mixture, you would just click on swap and it's just going to easily swap that out. Okay, so I can go macro, CSR, etc. So you just click through all of that, double check it all, and then simply just click on, oops, move that over. Simply just click on order your ingredients. Will take you to log into your Woolies site where you can add all your extra bits and pieces, you know, shampoo, your toothpaste, toilet paper, all of those kind of things. So if you're someone that loves meal planning, loves having your ingredients delivered to your door or click and collect, this is absolutely a game changer for you. Okay. Now, was there something else that, did you have other questions? So those of you who don't know much about Cookidoo, that's like your next level up. I normally wait for people to sort of use their Thermomix for a while first before doing the Cookidoo 3.0 because, you know, it's so much information. Teresa, you can print out your ingredients. So if I go back to my week, you'll see down, oh, hang on. I'm normally on my phone when I do this. Show ingredients. So options, so you can share it, so you can send it to hubby or whoever it may be, partner, and then you can print it here. Okay, but it's so easy on your phone. I'm not about having a pen and paper and having to mark it off. I can sometimes, if I'm not prepared, I will just be in the supermarket or in the car park and I'll be like, oh, what should we have for dinner? Might do something chicken. And I would just type in here, chicken, okay, from the car park on my phone. And it's going to bring me up 951 results with something to do with chicken. Okay. Yeah. So I could just scroll through and be like, yeah, actually I might do, this looks good, chicken katsu curry with rice. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to say cook today, and then I'm going to add it to my shopping list. And then straight away in the car park or in the supermarket, I'm just going to then go on my phone, click up my shopping list. Okay, I just want it for that actual recipe. And I've got all the ingredients. So I'm going to be able to say, yep, I know I've got sugar at home. I need to get some chicken breast. I've got stock because I've made it myself and it's in the freezer. If you haven't yet made stock paste, that is a must. Put that down on your list to make ASAP. Okay, I actually use the vegetable stock paste in everything. I don't very often make the chicken or the beef one. I just have the vegetable one there all the time. It lasts in the fridge for 6 months and in the freezer for up to 12 months. Okay, so much money saved, so much wastage saved, absolute must. And so then from there, I've just got my shopping list already done. I'm not going to forget anything because it's all there and I'm marking it off as I go. Okay. If we create our own recipes on there, does it become? No. So if you create it, if you were to create it on Recipe Community because you want to share it with people, yes. But when it's on your Thermomix, it's only on your Thermomix. So you can't see what I've put on there. Okay. It's only on yours. Yeah. All right. So yeah, so you can go from there. If you were wanting to look at the filters, okay, so I'm going to go on search and I actually just want to find something for dessert. So I've got friends coming around, so I really want some desserts or sweets or maybe some baking something sweet. So I've got 1,951 results there. Okay, so as we go, banana bread, sticky date pudding, so many options to choose from. I'm going to go this mango Swiss roll. Now, I can also add it to a collection. So if it's something that we made and I thought that was amazing, I don't want to forget what it is. Because if you're anything like me, you're like, I'm going to remember that, and then you totally forget. So you can add it to a collection. So you could actually say desserts we love. Okay. And then that is going to go into that collection. So then when I go back up here to my recipes, okay, I've got my created recipes. So they're the ones that I've created, remember? And then I've got my collection. So here I've got the desserts we love, and I can add that. I have Japanese. Oh, these are the actual cookbooks. Okay, so these are my things. Breakfast class that I did, dinners, Easter recipes, etc. And then in saved, that is your cookbooks that you've saved. Okay, so to have a look at cookbooks, we just go back to our main page onto search. And over here, you'll see it says recipes. Okay, and there's a little drop down arrow. When I click on that arrow and I click on collections, it brings up all of the cookbooks. So I have my filters set for Australia, UK, and the US, okay, because they're all in English. So this is going to bring up all of the collections. So collections are 8 to 12 recipes in them. So they've just been taken from different cookbooks and made into their own collection. So for example, you know, your black limited edition, they've just taken them from places and they've put it in and made it into a special black edition. Okay, and then you have your actual cookbooks that have, you know, 80 to 100 plus recipes in them. Now, the reason I tell people to click on them all and save them, so you would just click on it. Okay, so this is 12 recipes, so it's basically just pieces from other recipe books. Okay, and then I'm going to save it. Now, what that does is it saved it there in your Cookidoo or in your app kind of thing in your TM6. You still need access to your Cookidoo subscription to be able to find it. But if you go somewhere and you don't have Wi-Fi connection and you don't want to use your hotspotting, if Cookidoo is down for maintenance, so sometimes it's upgrading when it has new modes and things like that, and it will be out of action for an hour, or if you live somewhere that you have unstable internet connection, you want to make sure you are saving as many cookbooks as you can, all right, or putting things into collections, because then when you go to your machine and it says there's no internet connection, you can just find this little magnifying glass, which is up on the top right-hand corner there, and you'll still be able to search anything that you have saved into your Cookidoo account. Okay, so I highly recommend people to make sure they save things so that then you will still be able to access your guided cooking. Okay, very important. How do you set the filters? All right, so up here looks a little bit different if you're on your phone app, but here I'm going to click on my name and then view profile. So you can turn your name into anything you like. Okay, you can edit your profile and you can call yourself. I know some people have done, hey, sexy legs. So when you turn your Thermomix on, if you need a little bit of a prep up for the morning, it's going to say, hey, sexy legs, what are you cooking today? So, you know, give you a little boost. Your TM6 loves you. So you can name that whatever you want, have a little bit of fun with it. You know, if someone else is, you know, someone else is about to cook, turn it into a different name and say something for when they turn it on. Have a little bit of fun. All right, so scroll down, it's got your cooking style. So I've selected the time-saving cook, which means that on my main Cookidoo page that gives you inspiration, it's not going to give me something that's going to take hours to cook because I've said I'm a time-saving cook. Okay, so you can choose all that. So same with if you're a vegetarian, it's not going to bring up all these meat dishes when you're a vegetarian. Okay, scroll down and then it says update filter. Okay, so if you've got a TM6, I like to just keep it all there because TM6 users can use TM5 and 31 recipes, whereas if you're a 31 or a 5 owner, you can't use the TM6 recipes because normally they'll be using a mode that you don't have. Okay, so if you're a 31 or a 5, I'd click on them. 31, you have a smaller bowl. All right, so it is important to follow the 31 recipes. Now here you've got language. So I've selected English. Now, the only reason, so you could do that, and obviously it's going to give you the UK and US because they're in English. But if you don't select, I haven't tried it recently, but it was, if you didn't select the countries, for some reason, when you then searched through the cookbooks, it would bring up every country. It wasn't just English. So I've actually just selected UK, US and Australia, just so that when I look through the cookbooks, there's not so many there. Okay, so that is how, hopefully that helped you to find that out, and then you won't have to do it again. Okay, it'll stay like that. Did anyone have any other questions at all? I know it was very quick, but it's very hard when you're on Zoom to keep everyone going. But if you had any other questions or you wanted me to go over something again, please ask, because I am more than happy to do so. If I went too fast on something, if you want to know more about Cookidoo, if you want to see something on the Thermomix screen, please pop it in the chat box. So yeah, so hopefully it will become so we can use those different modes when we're creating our own recipe, instead of having to click out, swipe across, find your mode and go back in, because it can be a bit frustrating. But it's super exciting to be able to put your own recipes on there, instead of having, there's nothing worse than having one device here, going from that device to then go onto your screen to follow along. I'm all about guided cooking. I don't do very many manual recipes for that reason. Okay, the TM6, you know, wowed me basically because everything is on the screen and I just have to click next. Okay, that's what it is for me. I know there's people out there that absolutely love manual cooking. I had a 31 originally. I bought it secondhand. I didn't have a consultant, so I didn't know how to use it. So yeah, I didn't get the most out of it. And I thought, you know, I wasn't a lover of Thermomixes, let's say. And like I said to people that were on earlier, you know, if anyone had told me that I would be a Thermomix consultant, I would be going around and teaching people how to cook, I would have laughed at them, because I just thought a Thermomix was, you know, nothing really. And then fast forward, you get the TM6, and that was a game changer for me, and here I am. So, you know, we can all convert, but mine is simply because of the guided cooking, and that the kids can easily use it and cook along. So, but yeah, so what else we got? Just trying to see what else I've written down. So yeah, it is the ever-changing platform. It is like, when I first started, there was only 50,000 recipes on there. Okay, now there's like 80,000 plus. So they are always bringing new recipes on and new creations. So that's worldwide. So I think Australia is, or English is around the 10,000 mark now. But now, given that you can actually add your own, you'll be able to get even more on there, so that you can do 100 recipes currently. So you can put 100 of your own on there. And there is, you can save, talking about saving things, you can save 5,000 recipes to your Thermomix. Okay, so if you get to that point, go you. But yeah, now, is there any other questions? Hopefully I've answered everyone's, but if you need it, please yell out. If you don't follow me, most of you probably would, because you might have seen most of how to get on here tonight, but it is Thermomatrix Tracy Sever. Okay, please reach out to myself if you don't have a consultant already, or if you have a consultant, reach out to them, because they will be more than happy to help you along and help you learn how to convert and things like that. Okay, but if you don't have any other questions, that is pretty much it from me. Hopefully I've given you a little bit more of an insight into the whole world of Cookidoo and being able to create your own. But other than that, thank you so much for spending the last hour with me. I hope you're all loving your Thermomixes. If you haven't seen already, you can have a cooking experience, so just virtually, or if you're nearby, in person, and you can grab yourself a second bowl discounted up to $265. So if you're interested in that also, please let us know. But otherwise, have a great night. Feel free to tag me in any delicious recipes that you've created or that you've made, and on your Instagram, because I love seeing what everyone is making. I get inspiration as well. So Awesome. Thank you so much for coming.